Scandals, resignations and dismissals are part and parcel of Trump's presidency. A few policy disagreements, a swift tweet from the president, and another administration official bites the dust. It was clear from the outset that Trump and his national security advisor would have their disagreements.
I'm the one that tempers him, but that's okay. I have different sides. I mean, I have John Bolton and I have other people that are a little more dovish than him. And ultimately, I make the decision.
We could speculate on which exact squabble led to Bolton's exit, the failed talks on Afghanistan, the question of Russia or perhaps Iran. But it seems the animosity lasted until his final day in office.
I offered to resign last night, and President Trump said, let's talk about it tomorrow.
I informed John Bolton last night that his services are no longer needed at the White House. I disagreed strongly with many of his suggestions, as did others in the administration, and therefore I asked John for his resignation, which was given to me this morning. I thank John very much for his service. I will be naming a new national security advisor next week.
Trump views himself as a skilled deal-maker who talked tough when needed. For Bolton, that wasn't enough. He needed to walk the walk and actively, consistently show strength on all fronts. The Middle East, Russia, North Korea, Latin America, you name it, he held an uncompromising stance on sanctions, military action and regime change. Bolton was one of the key advocates of toppling the Maduro government, using any means necessary. All options on the table, ready to go.
This troika of tyranny, this triangle of terror stretching from Havana to Caracas to Managua, is the cause of immense human suffering. This is a time for action.
We need Venezuela ruled by the people of Venezuela and not by external forces.
Trump showed he was willing to meet and negotiate with even the greatest perceived U.S. adversaries. Even if it meant just a symbolic photo op, the right intentions seemed to be there.
Met and we liked each other from day one.
I don't like sanctions being on his country.
I think they want to make peace. I think it's time.
For Bolton, though, this was unacceptable.
So it could be a long and unproductive meeting, or it could be a short and unproductive meeting.
We have very much in mind the Libya model from 2003, 2004.
While Bolton boiled that North Korea had violated UN sanctions after a missile test in May, Trump downplayed the incident, saying he wasn't spooked.
North Korea fired off some small weapons, which disturbed some of my people and others, but not me.
Taking on Iran was perhaps Bolton's priority number one. Within a month of his appointment in April 2018, the US had pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal. An advocate of preemptive strikes, he pushed for military action against Tehran after a US drone was brought down. And as ever, his thinly veiled threats centered around regime change.
We hope that these new measures directed at the Iranian dictatorship will compel the government to reevaluate its pursuit of terror at the expense of its people.
Well, I think he's on the verge of making a mistake. I think his advisors are pushing him in the wrong direction.
Ironically, just as Bolton prepared to depart, speculation has been rife on possible talks between Trump and the Iranian President Rouhani. Who would have thought that possible after so much hostile rhetoric? Perhaps the final straw was Trump's plan to wind down the longest war in US history, including hosting talks with Taliban leaders at Camp David. It's speculated that to Bolton, this was incomprehensible. So what's next for US foreign policy? Well, Trump's words often have little correlation with his actions. And the US Secretary of State reassures us not too much will change.
I'll leave to the president to talk about the reasons he made the decision. But I would say this. The president's entitled to the staff that he wants. At any moment, this is a staff person who works directly for the President of the United States, and he should have people that he trusts and values and whose efforts and judgments benefit him in delivering American foreign policy.
It seems that with or without Bolton's presence, US foreign policy may have more surprises in store during Trump's first term.
Listen, this is probably going to be the best piece of advice that you can get. The only reason why you or most people want all these different plans, you want all these different ideas and different businesses, because you want a guarantee of success. You just want to make sure that you don't fail. I met this one young man. He sent me a message, and I think he's in the network marketing industry, okay? He's trying to sell something in the network marketing industry. And then I look on his Facebook page, and he's talking about photography. What? So I'm thinking in my mind, because I'm already rich, I'm thinking, how is this young man is going to be the best network marketer on the planet that's going to reap millions of dollars, which only 1% of people do, if he's spending his time and focus in two different things? If you're trying to do more than one thing, if you have plan A, B, C, and D, B, C, and D distracts from the original plan.